You know, I've been a DC fan for as long as I can remember. I was excited when Zack Snyder's Man of Steel was announced. Seeing Superman on the big screen again after Superman Returns? Hell yeah. And when Batman v Superman was coming out, I thought, this is it. This is going to be epic. Batman and Superman together on the big screen for the first time? Oh my god, yes! Especially with those trailers. Man, Zack Snyder knows how to cook when it comes to his trailers. But here we are, years later, and instead of talking about the movies or the characters, I find myself talking about the fan base. Specifically, I want to talk about a group within that fan base. So not the Snyder fans. They're pretty cool people. Even though I have issues with Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, I would still sit down next to a Snyder fan and watch those movies and have a good time. No, I'm talking about what so many people online have categorized this part of the fandom now, the Snyder cult. But before we dive in, let's address something important. Zack Snyder faced a lot of unfair treatment while working on the DCEU. WB at the time was all over the place, reacting poorly to anything that didn't go their way, which totally screwed up his vision. Not to mention Henry Cavill got screwed a lot of the time, and then tragedy struck with the loss of Zack's daughter, and jackass Joss Whedon took over Justice League. But after years of fan petitions, Zack finally released his 4-hour cut of Justice League, which was awesome and a massive win for the fans. While many wanted to see more of his universe, WB had already decided to move in a different direction, shifting away from Snyder's darker tone to something more optimistic and widely appealing. I understand why fans felt cheated out of seeing his complete vision. It was a shitty situation from every angle. But here's the thing. While most Snyder fans are passionate and supportive, there's this loud, aggressive minority, the Snyder cult. These guys can be downright nasty and annoying.
Other breaking news. Water. Wet.
And I just want to let it all out and finally get it off my chest. Consider this my therapy session. I've heard about these guys over the years, but ever since James Gunn was hired to take over the DCU, I see these guys all the time. I'm really not trying to find them. They just pop up like weeds whenever there's news about James Gunn's DCU. Whether it be on X, Instagram, Facebook, laughing at every post about the DCU, or YouTube, these past couple of years have felt like the longest years of my life. Hearing these guys complain. I get it, change is hard. But the way some of these so-called fans are reacting, you would think James Gunn killed their cat or something. They've been trashing on James Gunn non-stop, saying he's going to ruin the DCU before he's even had a chance to do anything. Even trashing those who are looking forward to this new era of DC as well. Always hashtagging restore the Snyderverse, fire James Gunn, boycott Warner Brothers, make the Batfleck movie.
Like you sitting there hiding behind your keyboard, spewing out all this toxic about people you'd be afraid to come up to if you saw them at the car wash.
Everywhere online, they preach,
we can't wait for this movie to fail. Everything that went wrong with the DCEU movies last year. Oh yeah, we made the DC movies of 2023 fail. And we will do the same thing when Superman comes out. That suit has more wrinkles than on my face!
I mean, what? They say quotes from Darkseid when he says,
ready the Armada. We will use the old ways.
I swear they sound like supervillains when they talk like this. They have more in common with Reverse Flash than they do with a character like Superman. I mean, who wants a fan base like this? They think that James Gunn is going to turn Superman and the rest of the DCU into a bunch of laughing, joking numbnuts. Just because his Guardians of the Galaxy movies had a bunch of jokes sprinkled in them. I guess to them, jokes make a story bad, but it's really about how the jokes fit into the story. Maybe they don't like to have fun or something, I don't know.
Do me a favor and lose the sense of humor.
Do us both a favor and buy one.
So what's the deal? Do you want Superman to flop because you love the character? Or do you want the movie to flop because your version of the character is gone? And if you can't have what you want, then no one else can either?
It's not about what I want. It's about what's fair!
They got what they wanted for Justice League, which was a huge win. But it's not enough. Now they're acting like the universe owes them more. You give a mouse a cookie, and suddenly it's demanding a jetpack. It's entitlement at its finest. I thought the goal for the hashtag Release the Snyder Cut was to get Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League out and raise money for AFSP. What's all this other crap you guys are doing? They post disturbing pictures online, and even some with Superman doing the most un-Superman-like things. It feels like they want Homelander more than they want Superman, because Homelander would definitely do most of the things they post. To me, Superman represents a friend, and these pics do not represent that whatsoever. Maybe they got the wrong message from Man of Steel. Remember when they tried to review bomb Warner Brothers movies like Godzilla vs. Kong, hoping it would help restore the Snyderverse? I sure do. It's ironic because by doing that, they're actually hurting the studio's finances, making it even harder to fund the Snyderverse they want back. Plus, it just makes them look like assholes. And they have the same mentality for when Superman comes out. Also, if you call yourself a Superman fan and you want a Superman movie to fail, how the hell does that make you a fan? Who wants a fan base like this? They claim they don't care about the DCU because it's DOA. Dorks on adventures. But they sure like to talk about it a lot online, keeping it relevant. Way more than they talk about Rebel Moon, which I haven't heard anything about besides the week it came out. By the way, how would you guys like it if I kept telling you, Rebel Moon is gonna flop, Zack Snyder's universe of Rebel Moon is DOA, I cannot wait for Rebel Moon to fail, hashtag fire Zack Snyder, hire James Gunn. Yeah, it sucks to hear, right? But I haven't seen Rebel Moon yet, but I will before giving my opinion. And not the original cut either. I'll see the director's cut to see the true vision, because I want to be fair with you guys. And I like you that much.
Thank you. That is kind.
You're a soldier?
What are you doing?
Long ago.
Watching Rebel Moon.
Do you mind? I'm Sam.
Why?
Please.
Because I've lost control of my life.
Uh-huh.
Tell me, Sam, do you know the story of our slain king?
How long are these movies?
6.5 hours later.
I didn't like them. Extreme overuse of slow motion, poor narrative, and distracting visuals, over the top violence, and forced adult content, which distracts from the overall experience. And the world building in Rebel Moon is shallow and lacks depth. And watching around 6 hours of this makes you feel like you're taking an insanity test. In the end, it wasn't for me. But you know what? I'm not going to attack Zack Snyder or his fan base online and call them stupid for liking whatever Zack makes. If you like Rebel Moon, then good on you. Damn right. You saw and felt something I didn't. I know everyone has different tastes, and it's great when a film resonates with you. I'll check out Zack's future projects since he has made films that were good. Even Twilight of the Gods looks good. That animation looks freaking amazing. I just wish the Snyder cult could be more open to giving new things a chance instead of clinging to one version. Also, side rant, this whole idea that Superman has to make $1 billion in order to be successful, when the hell did that become a thing? When did movies have to start making $1 billion in order to be a success? It's the first movie in a new universe. People need time to get on board, especially after the shit stain the DCEU made. Even Marvel didn't make $1 billion in their first couple of movies in their first phase. And look where they're at now. Listen, would I love for Superman to hit $1 billion? Absolutely. But more than that, I want a great movie. I'd take a damn good movie that makes less than a trash film that makes $1 billion any day. People are just sick and tired of this toxic behavior. And calling James Gunn the P word, persnickety, that's just wrong, man. I mean, seriously, I am literally asking, who wants a fan base like this? Marvel? Jurassic Park? Monsterverse? I know you guys are mad at this fan base when they tried to review bomb Godzilla vs. Kong. Star Wars? Well, actually, you guys have a lot on your plate right now. This is the last thing you guys need. No one hates Star Wars more than Star Wars fans. Is DC turning the same? I think I remember seeing a post that Zack Snyder was looking forward to seeing James Gunn's Superman movie. See, now why can't these people act like the person they are worshiping, instead of bashing people who are excited to see it? Are they going to start bashing Zack Snyder now? That would be something. You know, Zack is a great guy, and the Snyder fans are too. I do like some of his movies, but now every time I think about Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and unfortunately Zack Snyder's Justice League, all I think about is his toxic fan base. Kind of like how fans can't separate the art from the artist, I can't separate the art from the fan base now. And I really want to move on. You know, DC fans just got very, very unlucky getting this cult-like fan base. Now we are stuck with them until they decide to move on. But as history has shown us so far, it's something they struggle with badly. Look, I shouldn't even be wasting my breath on the Snyder cult, but here I am because I love DC. When something's dragging down the franchise I care about, I feel like I've got to say something. If you're actually a fan of these characters, you'd want the movies to succeed because, well, it's good for the characters. But when you start rooting for a movie to fail, calling it a flop before it even hits theaters, spreading nothing but hate and malice everywhere, it kind of feels like you're not a fan at all. And hey, you don't have to love everything DC shoves out. That was me with Man of Steel and Batman v Superman. But praying for something to tank, that's just a little brain dead to me. If you guys are not interested in the DCU, then why are you still around? No one wants you here. Go enjoy Rebel Moon. Go enjoy Twilight of the Gods. Stop making the DC fans miserable and go support Zack Snyder. It's like you don't want to because you only care about Zack's DC universe and none of his other projects. No wonder it's so quiet when Rebel Moon came out and Twilight of the Gods. Or maybe you just want to stick around because you find it funny to mess with us that way.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
The Snyder Cult, I swear, man, it's like a psychological black hole of human insecurity and tribalism, okay? You take a group of people who latch onto Zack Snyder's version of superhero flicks because, I don't know, maybe they feel misunderstood or whatever. And it becomes their entire identity. It's not even about the movies anymore. It's about the validation they get from being part of the group. I feel like they're trapped in this psychological loop where they need Snyder's films to be seen as misunderstood masterpieces because if they're wrong about that, then maybe they're wrong about everything else in their lives too. They'll bend reality, burn it to the ground just to protect the idea that their version of the DC universe is the only one that matters. It's not about the art. It's about what the art represents. Them. Who wants a fan base like this? Nobody, that's who. Do let me know what other videos you guys want me to make in the future, and I may consider it. To the Snyder Cult, I'll say this.
Be very careful with the next thing you say.
You love the stories. That's clear to see. But tearing down others won't set you free. Cherish the films. There's no need to yelp.
Stop it. Get some help.
If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and share the video. That would mean the world to me. So thanks for watching, you're amazing, and I'll see you next time. I feel so much better.